Today we're asking, should you buy the Ultrahuman Ring Air? Let's get into the review. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Ronan and I make product and tech reviews. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at the Ultrahuman Ring Air. And the Ultrahuman Ring Air is a smart ring and it monitors a number of your health analytics. So it's a really great way to kind of help you keep track of where you are in terms of your fitness and how best you might reach your fitness goals, whatever they might be. And wearables have become increasingly popular in the last decade, from smartwatches to smart rings, wristbands, and personally, I love having wearable tech. So when Ultrahuman reached out to me recently to ask if I'd be interested in trying out their Ring Air, I jumped at the chance. And quick disclaimer, I haven't paid any money for this product. They sent it to me so that I could review it for you guys here on the channel. I've actually been using the Ultrahuman Ring Air for a little over a month now, and I have to say my first impressions are that I really like this product. But before we get into all of the features and the things that I like, I just want to explain the process of buying an Ultrahuman Ring Air and just how you figure out what the right size is for you. So when you order the sizing kit for your Ultrahuman Ring Air, it comes in a box like this. It's just a plain cardboard box and it just has the Ultrahuman logo and brand name on the front. Let's open it up and see what it's like. And this is the sizing kit. And the box has this little magnetic tab on the bottom here. We just open it and it gives you details on how to submit your ring size. But this is it here. So we basically have a whole load of plastic rings, and this ring actually tells you on the outside what the size is, but it also tells you in the box here what the size is. But what's really cool about this is there's a little flat part on the inside of the ring, and that just gives you an impression of what the sensor is like on the ring, or kind of where the sensor sits on the ring. So this isn't just a completely plastic circle, and for me now I just need to figure out kind of what my ring size is. I think maybe this size. Okay, so if I wore it like this, size 11 definitely feels like it's it. So I definitely think for me, I'm between size 11 and size 12. I think what I need to do is I kind of need to just try these for the next couple of hours and see what suits. So I'm gonna go and do that now, and when I see you again, I will be back in the main studio and I will have my Ultrahuman Ring Air. So that's how you figure out what size ring you need, and once you know, it's time to order your ring. You choose your color and size, and Ultrahuman get to processing your order, and I chose natural titanium because it matches my wedding ring, which I have here, and it matches my Apple Watch Ultra 2. It took Ultrahuman a little bit longer to ship my ring than it took them to ship the sizing kit, but I think that is because the rings are made to order depending on which size and which color you need, compared to the sizing kit, which is just standard and can be sent out to anyone. But I did have my ring in my hand less than 2 weeks after I ordered it. So let's go back in time and see exactly what the Ultrahuman Ring Air is like to unbox. Okay, so when you order your Ultrahuman Ring Air, it comes in a cardboard box like this that just says Ultrahuman on the front. And there's this like pull to open tab here along the side. And then we just open this up. So this is the Ultrahuman Ring Air box. So the box opens very easily, just the lid lifts off carefully. And here we have the ring. So straight away, this thing feels super light. It has like kind of the Ultrahuman branding again. It says the size of the ring, and you can kind of see some of the electrical components and the wiring. And then that's just underneath this kind of like clear protective coating, which like it looks like plastic, but it kind of feels like it could be plastic. It could be like a resin type thing. I'm not really sure what it is, but it feels very smooth and very nice. So initial impressions of the ring are that it's very nice, very pretty, and that natural titanium is lovely. And then also under here, we have some information. So some Ultrahuman information here. We have a quick start guide. We have information on how to charge the ring. And then we have the full user manual. And that's all inside this little envelope that says, "Hello, Cyborg." And then also underneath, we have the charger. So this is the charger here. And again, it just has the little Ultrahuman logo on the side here. And this kind of looks like a weird knob thing, but this doesn't actually turn at all. The ring just sits on this. And there's only one way that this can go on. Well, I mean, it can go on this way or this way. There's like a flat edge because of all the sensors. There's a flat edge here, so you just line these up and that just sits there and it charges. And then lastly, under here, we have this little box, which I'm assuming is cabling for the charger because it says get wired. So it's a USB Type-C cable, which I don't know how many times I've opened these on my channel at this point, but I love to see a USB cable. So what's really nice about this cable is it's USB Type-C on both ends, but it's a really thick, heavy duty braided cable. And like it feels like a proper piece of rope, and it's really, really nice. So this just feels like a really solid, heavy duty cable. And I'm very glad to see that. There's no charging brick, so you don't get anything to actually plug into the mains. Now, I already have several of those already, so I'm not worried about being able to charge this up straight away. It's just something to be aware of before you order one of these rings. That if you don't have a USB Type-C charging brick, you're gonna need to get one to charge this. So the setup process for this looks pretty straightforward. You just plug the charging dock into the mains, which I have done. It says the LED light on the dock will turn purple to indicate that it's ready for charging. It says you put your ring on the dock and then it starts flashing white, which it's doing. So this is the app here. It takes you through all of the initial setup and how to get set up with your ring. And then if you also download the app before you've ordered a ring, there's an option to actually buy a ring here within the app. So when you go to the tab to create a new account, you have the option to sign in with your Google account or to sign in with your Apple account. So already my phone has detected the ring and it can see it's the Air raw titanium in size 11, which is what I ordered. Then as you go through the app, it takes you through all of the features. That is essentially it. That is how it all works. So that is everything that comes with the ring straight out of the box. Now let's dive into the ring and the app user experience itself. It's very comfortable on my hand. Initially, when I got it first, I was wearing it on my index finger, but I've actually moved it to my middle finger because when I'm holding my phone, it just makes it a little bit easier and just a little bit more comfortable to hold. I found that when I had the ring here on my index finger, it would kind of bang against the side of the phone, and it's not that like it would do any damage or anything like that, but I just felt like I was always kind of gonna drop the phone. I never did drop the phone. I just felt like I might. But Ultrahuman actually say that the ring works perfectly well on either your index finger, your middle finger, or your third finger of either your right or your left hand. So really it's whichever one is most comfortable for you. So now let's take a dive into all of the features that the Ultrahuman Ring Air actually has and look at what it does. So it has a number of infrared sensors which enable it to monitor your heart rate, your sleep, and your body temperature. And there are a number of benefits to this. By tracking your heart rate, it can monitor your resting and active heart rates, and it can calculate your cardiovascular fitness and age. It can measure how much sleep you're getting and the different types of sleep to measure your overall quality of sleep. And then it uses this data to generate a dynamic recovery score. So you can see how ready your body is to engage in certain types of activity or fitness trainings when you wake up. The ring also records your body temperature and it feeds all of this data into the health app on your phone. And being able to measure your body temperature and your recovery scores is just a great way to keep track of your baselines and just kind of like what's normal for you. And this way, if you are getting sick or like maybe you're getting a cold or that kind of a thing, it means you might be able to take some preventative measures like resting more in the hopes that you might be able to ward off some illnesses. Or you might be able to say, hey, I might be getting sick, so maybe I'll work from home today, and then you don't run the risk of maybe infecting some of your colleagues if you go into the office. Also, the Ring Air has sensors which can enable cycle tracking. Now, personally, this isn't of huge benefit to me, but if you're somebody who has periods, this might be very useful for you. And just one thing to mention with the sensors is if you're using the Ring Air at night, they can kind of light up and they can kind of make your finger glow, or they kind of glow just on the inside of your finger here. And this hasn't been an issue for me at all, and it hasn't been something that Elaine has noticed either, but I just wanted to kind of flag it, just in case it's something that you might be particularly sensitive to. But in saying that, I am very sensitive to kind of lights and things like that shining in the room when I'm trying to sleep, and the Ring hasn't ever impacted me in the slightest. And another thing that I really like about the Ring is that you can actually turn on notifications from the app. So for example, like if you forget to check it in the morning to see how like your sleep was or whatever, it can actually send you notifications to let you know certain metrics throughout the day. It also has a caffeine window, so it'll actually tell you kind of the optimum time where you can start like consuming caffeine so that it won't have a material impact on your day, and it kind of calculates when you should start tapering off and kind of stop drinking coffee or caffeinated beverages. And then in terms of battery life, this thing is really good. Like, I seem to be charging it roughly every 4 or 5 days, and it usually gives you a notification to let you know when it has reached 30%, so that you should consider charging it. And Ultrahuman actually say that in order to preserve the battery life of the Ring, you should start charging it when it gets to 30%. And it charges back to full surprisingly quickly. Like, usually for me, if I put it on the Ring at about 30%, it's usually fully charged in maybe a little over an hour. So very quick to recharge. It provides much more granular health tracking data than just my Apple Watch. So I think between the Ultrahuman Ring Air and my Apple Watch, I'm starting to really get a good overall picture of where my health and fitness is at. But the question you're probably asking now at this point is, how much does it all cost for this? So the Ultrahuman Ring Air currently costs €379 to buy from their website. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You can check it all out in case you're interested. So there are a number of other trackers on the market that provide a similar service to Ultrahuman Ring Air. The first being Whoop, which is kind of like a fitness wearable tracker. So it's like a wristband that offers you a lot of the same stuff that Ultrahuman offers you. And the other is Aura, which is also a smart ring, and they both offer a subscription-based service. So with Whoop, you don't have to pay for your band, but you do have to pay €264 a year for their membership, or you can get a 2-year membership for €444. And then the Aura Ring costs between €399 and €599, depending on whether you go for their Heritage or Horizon models, and depending on which color you buy. The Aura Ring also charges $5.99 a month for their subscription service on top of the cost of the ring. So for me, the real appeal of the Ultrahuman Ring Air is that you just buy it. It's basically like any other piece of tech, kind of like my Apple Watch. I pay the money for the product and that's it. I don't have to worry about any kind of like subscription services or subscription costs or anything like that. I get all of the functionality straight out of the box after I've bought the device. Okay, so the last thing that I kind of want to talk about with the Ultrahuman Ring Air is durability. So because the outer shell is made of titanium, it's really, really durable, but it's also very, very light. And after about a month or so of wear, I can tell you that the ring has quite a few kind of scuffs and marks and scratches on it, and it's definitely developing its own patina over time. Now, personally, I don't mind this. As I said earlier, my wedding ring is also natural titanium, and it has developed its own kind of patina over time as well. So I think they just look like really unique and cool as they get older. So the fact that the Ultrahuman Ring is doing that as well doesn't bother me at all. But it's just something to be aware of if you're looking at getting one of these rings. They do mark and they do scuff. Now, in the month or so that I've been using the Ultrahuman Ring Air, I have kind of run into one problem with it. And in the scale of problems, this one's a really big one. So a couple of weeks ago, my ring stopped working completely for about a week. So basically what happened was, usually with this ring, when it gets to 30%, you get a notification on your phone letting you know that your ring is at 30% and that you should charge it. And actually Ultrahuman recommend that to preserve the battery in the ring, you should charge it when it gets to 30%. They don't recommend running it down to 0% and charging up to 100. They recommend charging it from 30% all the way back up to, I think, around 80% or so. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was using the ring and I didn't get a notification to say that the battery level had dropped below 30%. Eventually, I got one to say that it was at 6%, and I went and I put it on charge straight away. When I put it on charge, I thought it was weird that, like, when I went into the app, I didn't get any notifications or indications rather to say that the ring was charging. And I realized essentially when I put my ring on the charger like this and it was all plugged in, everything looked normal. Like the light that's supposed to come on the charger came on, everything was perfect, it was behaving as normal, but the ring wasn't connecting to my phone. So I sort of left the ring on charge for, I'd say, about 6 hours and kind of checked on it periodically and nothing. Essentially, the ring was dead. There's a pretty comprehensive troubleshooting section in the app, and if I'm being honest, I'm actually really impressed with the troubleshooting section within the app. And I went through all of the steps and all of the instructions for what you should do if your ring loses connectivity with your phone. And at the end of all that, I still didn't have a solution to the problem. So at that point, I contacted Ultrahuman customer service to see if they had any suggestions or could help me in any way. Now, when I contacted Ultrahuman, I just reached out to their support team like anyone who had just bought the ring would, and they treated me pretty much exactly the same as anybody else who buys the ring. And I have to say, the level of communication and service that I got from their support team was 10 out of 10. I was very impressed with how quickly they responded to my problem. So we kind of had a back and forth where they'd come back with a number of troubleshooting steps that I'd have to try, and then I'd go back to them and tell them how I got on. Unfortunately, throughout this back and forth, we never got the ring working again. So when we'd exhausted all of the various troubleshooting steps that the support team had to offer, they just arranged to send me out a brand new ring. And that's what I have here. I opened the new ring up and I was about to set up everything and pair it to my phone, and I just decided for fun that I would try my old ring one last time. So I went through the pairing process, and sure enough, it connected to my phone. That was probably a little over a week ago now. The old ring has kind of been working fine. Like I don't really think there's been any issues with it, but there is one thing that I did notice just on the inside of it here. There appears to be a section inside the ring where there's moisture gathering, and I've checked the same area on the new ring and there's nothing like that, but the patch where there seems to be moisture inside my ring seems to be away from all the circuitry and that kind of a thing. So I don't know if it had anything to do with the issue that I had. I don't know if it's a complete coincidence, or I don't know, maybe it was actually the cause of the problem in the first place. But either way, since I've noticed it's been there, the ring has actually been working fine, and I have charged up the ring again since that, and there's still been no issues. And I've contacted Ultrahuman to let them know, and they so far haven't asked for the replacement ring back yet. So hopefully I can just hold on to it here in case something goes wrong with this one again. Hey guys, so it's a couple of hours later and I got a notification to say that my ring was less than 30%, so I went to put it on charge and I went to check on it just there, and this is what the app is saying. It says my ring is disconnected, cannot find the ring. I haven't gone through any of the troubleshooting stuff again, to be perfectly honest. I just don't want to. So I think I'm gonna go and try pair up this new ring now. This doesn't look orange on my screen, by the way. It's to do with the filter that I have on my lens here. My new ring is paired and I'm gonna forget about the old ring. Hopefully I have no more issues or problems. If I do, I'll definitely follow up with another video on the Ultrahuman ring. So after all that, I have to say I do have some concerns about the overall durability of the Ultrahuman Ring Air. But one thing I don't have any concerns about are Ultrahuman's capacity to deal with those problems. I am still a huge fan of the Ultrahuman Ring Air, and I still really like everything that it provides. And I would absolutely recommend it to anybody who is interested in buying a smart ring. And just if you are curious about what I was saying earlier about how the metal on the ring wears, This is the difference between what the ring is like brand new and after about a month of wear and tear. Okay, so that is all I have to say about the Ultrahuman Ring Air for now. So I'm gonna leave this video here. I hope you've liked it. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.